How do you find out if you're the kind of person you ought to be? Well, I've got an answer for you. Stay tuned. You're watching Timeless Talks, timeless subjects, information for life. Currently, I'm reading a book that's been loaned to me as a generating of thoughts, possibly for the YouTube, and it's written from the perspective of what men ought to do to develop themselves into the kind of person they probably want to be. And the writer describes things as being in search on a journey. This is what he says. If we are to ever find ourselves, we must find what God meant by the expression man. What has he set in the masculine heart? Instead of asking what you think you ought to be doing to become a better man, I want to ask what makes you come alive. What stirs your heart? The journey we face now is into a land foreign to most of us. We must head into country that has no clear trail. In the writing of this, the writer has made a critical, important assumption that man is capable of finding himself by using his own means and his own tools. And that kind of thinking certainly resonates with American men. We like the idea of someone who can pick themselves up from their bootstraps and start with almost nothing and become a rich millionaire or powerful and strong. We thrive on that kind of thinking. But it's really about asking the question, how do you gain that kind of American success? Is it by trial and error? Trying out every nook and cranny of every secret that's possibly out there? Or do I need to read plenty of more self-help books? Or do I need to listen to hours and hours of things on YouTube? You know, I could go searching, as many people do, by the use of wine and other alcoholic drinks. Oh, I know I can drink plenty of Royal Crown and Budweiser and Miller Lite, and yeah, I'm going to hug the porcelain bowl a few times and throw up, and I'm going to say things I shouldn't say, and maybe wreck relationships and do things I shouldn't do, and have hangovers all the next day and know that I'm destroying my body. That's one way I could do. I could search in that way. Or maybe, as a second idea, I could become a master architect or a builder of some kind, and I can go find me a mountaintop and clear the trees just right, put a big, beautiful mansion on the side of that hill where it looks out over a large valley with a beautiful river in it. You know, that's a good idea, but I could also become a successful farmer or rancher with more miles than I could ever see to the other side. Or maybe there's this Mr. Bloomberg, and I could become just as rich and as wealthy as he is, so that I would have to have somebody wake me up in the morning and do my laundry and fix my meals and drive me around in there in a limousine. Would that satisfy the longings in this heart? Some people, and they're good at doing it, are great singers, and they're entertainers. And we like listening to them or hearing them, and we'll flock in masses of people. Maybe I could be that person who everybody wants to come and see and hear. I don't think I better try that, but could you do that? Or how about instead of doing that, I just get me several really good credit cards and just start going out and buying stuff. You know, I could have Rolex watches, drive the finest of the cars, wear Gucci clothing, climb on my jet and fly to San Francisco just so I could eat sourdough bread for breakfast, then fly to New Orleans and enjoy really rich Cajun food, then fly to maybe the Boston or Maine and get me a fresh lobster for supper. But the thing is, the things I've just mentioned to you that seems that to be the very things that American men attempt are also been done by another man. Already done it. All of it. His name was Solomon, and what I have just listed to you are examples of what he would have been doing if he lived in the 21st century. And he concluded all these things to be nothing more than just chasing after the wind. You'll go read Ecclesiastes, that second chapter, and you'll find these things to be true. It doesn't satisfy that deep heart. So all the trial and efforts that we could do in all these different ways, in all these different places I could go and adventures I could achieve, they never really fill up the heart. Jeremiah, the writer, told us in chapter 10, verse 23, I know, O Lord, that the way of man is not in himself, that it is not in man who walks to direct his steps. The writer of the book of Ecclesiastes, that man who had tried everything and tried it for all his life, he wrote a really special message to you and to me that we need to be listening to. And this is what he said. With all his wisdom, the smartest man who's ever walked on the face of the earth other than Jesus, he said, besides being wise, the preacher, that's what he called himself, besides being wise, the preacher also taught the people knowledge, weighing and studying and arranging many proverbs with great care. The preacher sought to find words of delight, and uprightly he wrote words of truth. The words of the wise are like goads, and like nails firmly fixed are a collected sayings. They are given by one shepherd. My son, beware of anything beyond these. Of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. The end of the matter, all has been heard. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God will bring every deed into judgment, with every secret thing, whether good or evil. Now that we know that these things that we could try just don't work, they won't satisfy the need, if those things don't work, maybe you're asking the question, well, what does work? And I told you I had an answer. Here it comes. God. God, you see, he created and formed you. Read Psalms 139 and learn about how he created you in your mother's womb, and how that he specially designed you. And he understands your heart and what your heart needs. And yet, because of his great power and his knowledge and his capabilities, he is to be feared and respected because he has given us answers. His answers, though, comes through his love and his compassion, his caring nature. I mean, he cared enough to get his son to come down here and stop living like God and start living like a people. Yeah, a people. Bad English. He started living like you and I do. His son showed us how to live contented. Jesus showed us that it's not in taking care of me. It instead is all about service. Service is what's vital to your inner peace, your inner person, the one that you're looking for. Jesus said in Mark chapter 10, verse 45, for even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Friend, service is what gives purpose. Service provides a fulfillment, a satisfaction that cannot be found anywhere else. But you know, that was the very thing that Solomon told us a few moments ago. He told us to fear God and to do what he says. That is, serve. Serve God, serve other people. I thank you for taking time to consider these things. Hope that you'll join us again sometime. Until next time, goodbye for now. Oh, I need to ask you one more thing, if you would, please. We need a little help with this ministry. We need you to pray about some things. We also ask that you'll click on the subscribe button down here. When the bell pops up, click it and click all, so you'll get every one of our new subscriptions as soon as they are out. We thank you for your help in this matter. Until next time, goodbye for now.